हाँ?
Source was the Meetup Pune.
क्या सबके पास ऑप्शन है? हाँ.
Actually, we were going through the placements and all, and recently we had a placement. So we decided let's connect in the corporate world. Let's connect with the people in corporate. So we decided to go for the meetups and all. So today for this Saturday, we got that here we had a meetup. So we just joined.
Okay. Okay, means they don't know anyone. You are not from anyone's reference. That is great. You found us. uh, so yeah, first thing, like, let's introduce Drupal. How much Drupal do you know? Like, I guess Maharashtra colleges has Drupal some. I don't know anything. You don't know. Okay, you don't know anything about Drupal, right? Okay. कौन यहाँ पे सबसे अच्छा definition देगा Drupal का? Because I don't know. Because I don't know. कोई तो दे दे. Anyway, I'm not so good.
Sorry, sir.
वो college से Drupal बच्चे he is going from college. I will say college to college.
I think how do I define or introduce Drupal? Matlab, I can talk a little bit about how I got introduced to Drupal.
In general, Drupal का idea.
हाँ, matlab I would try to compare this with PHP stack. So back in the college days, I was someone who was responsible for building these college event sites, T-shirt sales, blah blah, which happens on an internet portal. I used to write custom PHP and build it all in custom PHP, a web-based portal. Someone in the college introduced me to Drupal, and that's where I could see that you don't really need to write so much of code. There's a framework which you can leverage to build a fully powered e-commerce site within probably 3 to 4 hours, get it up and running. So that's what, to me, Drupal's first connect was like. And then when I got introduced to Drupal, I started working with Q8042 as an intern. That's where I got deeper into Drupal. So Drupal is nothing but a PHP-based framework today, but it's not the software for which it is known. It's known for its community. So 2-3 things around Drupal again. PHP-based framework here. You would find any use case that you can think of that needs to go out live on a public web portal or a private web portal. You would find a module available in the community. The community is so large. It's one of the largest open source communities out there, actually. So the way I would define Drupal is it's an open source framework today. It's an AI enabled CMS which brings in a very mature content management system towards it. And all of its content management systems are AI powered, which means that as a content manager, if I want to go ahead and have a raw brief about creating a landing page, I can go ahead and put in that raw brief and let AI tools take care of generating a fully fleshed up, refined page for me. This is just one example of it, but from maturity standpoint, think of it like your business teams, which could be multi-tiered. Your content authoring team could be multi-tiered. Like there's one editor, another author, and then someone who's responsible for reviewing the content before it goes live. All of these features, which are really common use cases, they're available out of the box with Drupal. So I'm not promoting Drupal here, but I'm just trying to let you know that
supposed to promote Drupal.
yeah. Yeah, the way I see Drupal is a content-rich ecosystem. So today, if I have a use case wherein I would want to give a content management experience to a customer, be it headless, be it by headless, I mean it just acts as a content layer, and then you can have a rich, thin front end, maybe powered on React or Next.js. Drupal can still do that. I know you guys would probably relate better with React Next.js and not really a PHP-based framework because that's what the curriculum is within the colleges right now. But yeah, I think in a very simple way, Drupal is a AI-enabled digital experience platform. Anyone else?
So I want to, क्योंकि कोई generic topic नहीं है. AI and CMSs, right? So now with AI, all of us can create our own CMSs. So I want to understand the benefit of having a open source CMS like WordPress or Drupal or any CMS you talk about, right?
what do you think? Is this a threat? How do you see that scenario, right? So I'm open for hearing out the opinions. I mean, see, CMS was for managing the content, right? Before Drupal or WordPress or these things become popular, we all were used to create CMS as our own, right? Like he just talked about PHP based CMSs. So that ability is not there again with you, because now you can do the same thing faster, leverage the same packages that are there, or build them, because it doesn't take much time, only tokens, right? So customers are now asking, AI से हो तो जाएगा, so how will you sell कि नहीं Drupal is still better solution down the line, or any CMS is a better solution than a custom coded AI solution?
Not really. I think AI can generate it, yes, but the governance is the most important aspect of it. Like the governance will still need to be human. It can generate tons of content. It can generate less meaningful, more meaningful content, more aligned, less aligned content based on the kind of context it has received. But in the end, anything that goes live to the end users, it's your accountability. If it's your website, it's your accountability that this content is going live. The point here is very simple. Would you trust an AI response out of the box, or would you like rather have it humanly reviewed before it goes live? So that's where I think tools like these tools which CMSs provide you, they come in very handy. As I mentioned, a content authoring workflow, a content moderation workflow. When an AI takes care of generating a content, or AI takes care of generating the translation for a multilingual web portal, and then a human comes in who is a subject matter expert of that specific topic, takes a look at it, says ki uh, it's good to go live, or says ki these few comments which need to be addressed, which can again be fixed by an AI agent or a human. But I think of it like an accelerator, not like a not like something which would replace the the CMS tools which are out there.
To add, like Piyush mostly covered what we like what CMS can be used for mostly. And at the end, अगर आप AI से भी बनाने जाओगे CMS, you will come across the same situation, same features like मेरे को ये control चाहिए, I want to limit this to certain user should be limited to this content type. That all comes down to a CMS. So in feature wise as well, अगर आप already वो use करते, then you would have had all those features out of the box rather than again coding and spending days again building the same thing. Bale, like we will start with AI to build a CMS for ourselves, specific for ourselves, like a distribution. But eventually we will encounter blockers where again the same thing that Drupal provides, like a permission based or a access control, for example, वो आप hit करोगे, then you will build it for yourself. But अगर Drupal होता, you could have done that easily, and you could have used CMS का feature out of the box. So there are also like features like these straight away come out of the box rather than spending days and even weeks and maybe hitting blockers. So, and in AI experience as well, like I don't think I'm still. I think we need to direct it still very specific to what we need. Like recent experiences have like made me felt that about AI. So, like it is still good, but proper use case achieve करने के लिए I still think we need to be very specific about where we are pushing it towards. So, yeah.
I think another important point is a customer never paid for a CMS or a tool.
Yeah.
They were always interested in how this tool will make my life easy, right? So if I look at it from a customer standpoint, it's still going to make my life easier. Of course, the effort to do this is going to be lesser now, which is an added advantage to the customer. But they would still pay for a CMS to me, because I'm still able to mimic my organization hierarchy within the CMS. For my content authoring team, for example, I'm able to do things faster with the CMS because it's AI enabled. From a development or a rollout or a delivery standpoint, it's still easier and faster for me because I can, like a CMS which is MCP enabled, for example, would allow me to control my CMS configurations right from a developer's IDE or terminal using Claude or any other AI tool is what I would say. So from a customer standpoint, it's a value add for me rather than something which is something I should not be thinking towards investing towards. I would still be interested in investing towards these CMSs. It's just that the efficacy or acceleration that AI is bringing is something that I would look as an advantage to me.
And my recent experience with a client was like they have a demo site जहाँ पे with Cloud Code they've cloned the entire demo site similar to ours, and my client tries to test there, and then he comes up to me and says कि Rutraj, can we do this or not? And then I tell him that okay, देखो Drupal में we can do the same thing which you custom coded it. So like my client was very happy कि okay, we can do this out of the box, and within few site building techniques he was good to go, rather than he told me he spent 4 days to build the same thing. So with the Drupal, it was out there, and within 10 minutes, it was on the live site. So I still feel like if they have an understanding of what it is doing, customers, they are very happy about it. They do try their tests with Cloud Code, but they come back and see this kind of stuff already being there. They are happy about it from my experience. So yeah.
Isn't this the same discussion जब like PHP से CMS कोई बनाया था, and right? I feel like we're back to that circle. Like same calculator जब आया, and we were talking that कि अब क्या होगा mathematicians का. So, anything?
So like axle is there, right? So in terms of vehicle, axle is there. Why to reinvent the same weight, right? So just add on to that to make it multi-axle and have more value out of it. So
Yeah, I think the acceleration part is definitely valid. That use it as an accelerator and not as a replacement. So I'm just like I was trying to understand how you guys are seeing this. Because all of us are in that same boat. And the news is all about replacing developers with AI. So I was trying to understand how much of this is actually going to happen, and how much of this is just marketing push.
So as long as नया जो AI fully AI based CMS नहीं आता है, so तब तक Drupal या WordPress is relevant, right? Down the line, there might be few CMS or the CMS might come which is fully AI based. तो उस समय उतना ये नहीं रहेगा. So maybe we are just looking for yeah, still is CMS, but obstacles नहीं रहेंगे कि ये कर सकते हैं. That is not possible with this one, the current system, right? क्योंकि हमेशा एक नया मॉडल आता है for each new problem arise, right?
AI हमेशा brain के साथ आता है, human हमेशा mind के साथ आता है. So mindfulness is different and brainfulness is different.
ये कुछ नया बोला तुम. See, important is for these guys. They are the one who are starting their career in AI.
Yes.
I mean to say, like, just once you have mindfulness with brainfulness, you have acceleration. Only brainfulness will take you somewhere where you don't want to end up going.
You guys have any questions to ask?
Any questions?
And future, आपको marks होते हैं.
So like ये थोड़ा आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स क्वेश्चन है कि मैंने अभी आपके वो लैपटॉप्स देखे थिंकपैड के, तो वो मैंने बहुत सारे जगह पे और कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में भी वो लैपटॉप्स को बहुत यूज़ होते हुए देखा. तो मैकबुक की जगह इंजीनियर्स वो लैपटॉप को क्यों प्रेफर करते हैं?
जोर से बोलो.
Use नहीं, like I usually like to use Linux. बोलना पड़ रहा है, ठीक है. तो like when I joined, like I was in college, मैंने भी बहुत Windows use किया. The day I joined QED, my mentor told me, forget Windows. You are never going to see Windows. So since then, like, and ThinkPad कैसा with our organization, you मतलब ThinkPad is good in terms of मैंने उसका configuration ही वैसे किया हुआ है. Asked him to provide 16 GB Fedora and all of that. So not a specific reason Mac भी use कर सकते हो, but it's like with personal preference and with Linux is obviously the best to do development work. Yeah.
So you can make or break a Linux machine while on Mac, or I don't know. I've not used Windows much, neither in the college days. But I used Windows last when I was in class 6th, 7th. उस वक्त उसके बाद से छोड़ नहीं, उस वक्त तो मजबूरी थी.
हाँ, yes. Microsoft tools के लिए करना पड़ेगा. नहीं.
Because Linux में configurability काफ़ी है, like you get to use terminal to its full potential.
बोल.
हाँ, Linux, Unix.
So Windows I've been using for a long time. Okay. I've recently switched to Mac, but that's not because of the OS. I only switched because of the hardware. Okay. ThinkPad is very good machine in terms of spec. और अगर ओरिजिनल वाले ThinkPad से तो तुम यहाँ से गिरा भी दोगे तो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. ठीक है. हाँ. ठीक है. तो that's like उतना खर्चा करने के बाद मशीन ऐसा चाहिए कि गिर जाए तो टूटे नहीं, जो मैक के लिए सही नहीं, ट्रू नहीं है. ठीक है. बट दैट बीइंग सेड, on a company basis, right, most companies will go for the cost effective solutions. These guys have plans, ThinkPads and HP के जो pro plans हैं, companies के अंदर they have plans, right, so they get replacements. 3 to 5 years they get replaced. So every 3 to 5 years the machine gets automatically replaced. Nobody gives such a plan for companies for Mac. ठीक है. तो M1 if you purchased today, you will still be using M1. But given the pace with which AI is moving, if you are not at M5, you are already outdated. Like you are limited by the hardware, right? So that's something that you want to, in a company environment, you want to avoid that. That's why these machines are comparatively more popular than Macs.
Drop testing.
नहीं.
यार वो लोग कॉलेज जाके बोलेंगे ना लैपटॉप फेंकते हैं लोग.
अरे उन्होंने गिराए होंगे, उनको नुकसान पता है.
Is it worth it to learn development from scratch in the AI era? Because right now, lot of us from my college only, some juniors, and they are also earning. They are doing freelancing. From vibe coding, they create some web pages, of course, basic web pages, but they are earning from it doing freelancing. So, is it worth it, or what you all will advise us?
I have thoughts on this. You start first.
नहीं, you
No, you start.
I think बहुत ज़रूरी है. Software development lifecycle, system design, the core concepts of software engineering बहुत ज़रूरी है. I mean, you gave a very good example कि people are able to freelance and produce stuff, but ask them when it comes to debugging them, or if an issue comes.
Issue also they give to ChatGPT.
हाँ. I think
the game is about focus in future.
but
See,
that's
it's
the
not
future.
just that, you know.
You're producing something which you don't understand. That's the
Good
biggest
one.
problem in my opinion. As long as you understand what you're producing, it's totally fine.
Vibe coding is just for vibe. See,
क्योंकि मैंने देखा है, like अभी in very recent times I've seen people producing softwares which are working, yes, but उसके अंदर security issues हैं. I have seen people like accidentally having pushed credentials as a part of the code, hard coded software which is not really scalable, जैसे कि बहुत छोटी छोटी चीज़ें लाइक क्यूज यूज होने चाहिए चीज़ों के लिए, नहीं होता है. सो मेरे हिसाब से आई थिंक सिस्टम डिज़ाइन प्रिंसिपल्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड
ये बहुत एंटरप्राइजी आंसर दे रहे हैं. सिंपल बता रहा हूँ, देखो AI is, as I said ना, accelerator. Use this as an accelerator, not as a replacement. ठीक है. अभी कुछ समय पहले ना, जब हम Drupal PHP करते थे, तो you had to learn servers. If you don't understand servers, you can't deploy. You have to learn databases. ठीक है. एंड मल्टीपल अदर थिंग्स, HTML, CSS, जावास्क्रिप्ट. मतलब मैं बोलता चला जाऊंगा इन लाइन कि ये सब कुछ आएगा तो तुम एक ढंग के PHP डेवलपर बन सकते हो. ठीक है. और वो सब नहीं आता है तो तुम आर्किटेक्ट तो कभी कर ही नहीं सकते. सिर्फ PHP आना, सिर्फ HTML आना, सिर्फ जावास्क्रिप्ट आना या वाइब कोड करना, ये सब आर गुड व्हेन यू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ द सिस्टम वर्क्स. टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ द सिस्टम वर्क्स यू हैव टू गो एंड डू ऑल दोस थिंग्स. वो लिनक्स में इसलिए है क्योंकि दे वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ OS वर्क्स. And when you're dealing with optimizations, when you're dealing with how can I make this thing faster, you need to understand everything within the system, not just. So लोग जब core web vitals की बात करते हैं, right, web programming में, they are only focused on front end part of the thing. Front end is the minimal part of the story. The response from the server is the maximum point, and that response from the server is not dependent on your JavaScript. It's dependent on the how your server is configured, how it is handling, what is the right speed of the server, every little thing, right? So unless you know the whole stack, you can generate the output and make quick bucks. You can't make the career out of it, right? So there's a new term called as deep tech. You would have heard of this. Do you know why they have tried to differentiate themselves from all other tech? Because now you have to actually go and do things that are not easy to do, right? Writing or creating a website is comparatively easy to do. बट वही है कि तुम PHP आता है तो बैक एंड डेवलपर, फ्रंट एंड डेवलपर क्यों किया? वो इसीलिए किया कि भाई वो उतना ही समझता है. बट समवन हु अंडरस्टैंड होल थिंग गोज टू हिज पोजीशन. यू कांट गो टू हिज पोजीशन टिल यू नो द होल स्टैक. सो
आई थिंक बहुत सिंपल है. अगर AI will generate an output and report for you. Lighthouse for example, ले लो, रिपोर्ट जनरेट कर दिया, एनालाइज करके आउटपुट दे दिया. अभी वो आउटपुट तुमको समझ में ही नहीं आ रहा.
आई डोंट नो हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू सीन दिस. सिक्योरिटी वाले गाइज आते हैं, ठीक है, तो हमने एप्लीकेशन बनाया, फिर वो सिक्योरिटी वालों को देते हैं, वो एक टूल से पूरा टेस्ट कराते हैं और भेज देते हैं. ठीक है,
नहीं समझ में आता.
वो भेज देते हैं कि भैया ये इश्यूज है, फिक्स करो. नाउ यू लुक एट द इश्यूज, सम ऑफ देम आर नॉट रेलेवेंट टू यू. मतलब नहीं भी फिक्स करोगे ना तो भी कोई उसको एक्सप्लॉइट नहीं कर सकता. ठीक है, बट बिकॉज मशीन ने बोला है उनको चाहिए हो तुम फिक्स करो. अब फॉर एग्जाम्पल वो वर्डप्रेस का एक फीचर है, नाउ दे वांट टू ब्लॉक इट बिकॉज वो वर्डप्रेस का फीचर है, ऐसा फर्क नहीं पड़ता. उस मशीन ने बोला है कि ये सिक्योरिटी इशू है. अभी क्या करेंगे, राइट? तो ये अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि भाई ये इशू नहीं है एंड देन बीइंग एबल टू कन्विंस देम कि इशू नहीं है, राइट, इज ओनली हैपनिंग व्हेन यू अंडरस्टैंड द सिस्टम. इफ यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड द सिस्टम, वो इशू उठाओगे, बोलोगे, वो बोलेगा वर्डप्रेस की कोर फाइल में जाके चेंज कर दो, तुम चेंज कर दोगे, सो सॉल्व हो गया. पर अगले रिलीज में क्या होगा, राइट? तो
कई बार वो टेस्ट रीराइट कर देता है, जस्ट FYI, like to ensure that this is not a failure, it goes ahead and rewrites the test files. So your tests now pass, but your feature is still broken. And you would never be able to infer this unless you know what it was trying to do, what it planned to do. So use it as a co-pilot or a peer programmer for you, not in the autopilot mode is what I would say.
yeah,
What kind of work your colleagues are doing using vibe coding and earning money out of it? Like, I'd also think about that. I mean, I don't think any credible product company or big companies.
So for the such businesses, they are making some front don't need so much of backend. They just need their frontend for their online presence. So that kind of thing.
Yeah, like exactly my point. Like these are very small tasks and small customers, like people who don't want to go to these enterprise or big organizations to get their work done. So you won't learn much from them. I mean, doing vibe coding and earning bucks from it, it's completely fine. But for a longer run, and if you want to work for big product companies or want to build your own product someday, there's no way that can happen just with vibe coding, because you have to decide the architecture. Like you asked one question in Akhil's session, that you are thinking about how to design the architecture of this image thing that you mentioned. These are the questions that come up, and that's how you learn that how to build a design system or how to build an architecture around something, and then you can use AI to do that. But first you should know what you want to do. You can't just ask AI to build a page or something. I mean, they'll get it done. AI would get it done, but how would you judge if it's right or not? I mean, you should know what you're doing, use it as a tool to get it done. They are very different things. So you can earn money right now, but for a longer run, then if you can vibe code today, maybe AI would replace that as well. So that's what you said, like brain and mind.
Right? The same thing with AI. So whenever you use any AI tools like Cloud or Codex, for that matter, you need to have agent.md file, right? And then along with it, you should have skills and tools, right? So like whatever you learn in throughout the engineering course is your agent.md file segregated into skills. Once you start applying those, you'll get to there. So vibe code is something you know that, but you are not applying that. So that's the difference between vibe coding and the coding with vibe.
As a student, we should avoid vibe coding.
No,
No.
no.
Okay. Because
See, a few years back, like about a decade back, right? Students in college used to make money writing blog posts, right? So today, that's whole digital marketing era is there, right? So vibe coding, people who are doing this vibe coding will have a market. It's not like they won't, but they will always be at that. Well, I don't know how to say this. This is a thrill part of it, right? That is a shallow part where people are just jumping from tech to tech to tech. Like these are the same guys who had been a blogger a few years back, then they become video content creators, and now they're doing the vibe coding. That's the same segment that moves in. So it's about, I don't know, being cool or to look cool, right? Plus, of course, we as all of us to do the vibe coding, we all have to know this, because how will you judge whether it is at a stage where I can now chill, let agent write the code, right? Because I know what it's doing, and that skill only comes when you do it. So should we be doing it? Of course, you should be doing it. Right.
Vibe coding should not limit it to prompt engineering. It has to scale to context engineering, then harness engineering, then loop engineering. So that is how you say you are a complete engineer than just vibe engineer.
हाँ मतलब WordPress और Drupal CMS, at least WordPress के केस में तो there used to be developers who will like, I only know this theme, I can build website only this theme. You remove the theme and they're no more a developer, right? I mean, in WordPress, this was a fact for a long time. So you don't want to be that if you want to actually be a developer.
There's nothing wrong. Who's gonna judge? We all need money. It's fine.
one more question for you. You are a front-end engineer. So there are a lot of tools coming in the industry like Google Stitch and Canvas AI. So now there are a lot of pre-built available also. So a lot of pre-built templates are there for the front-end part. Just you have to give a prompt and you will get a front-end part already. So it become very easy for the back-end engineer to create a front-end page. So is it like the job security comes there? So do you feel that it's a competition for you? Because a backend engineer can create a front end part.
So before you start, let me just give him a tidbit, right? So no. No, so I'll tell you what. The HTML templates are available for a decade or more, right? I just told you about themes. So HTML templates are available for the backend developers for years now. Years as in more than decade, right? So what is changed? AI is just giving you one more template, right? Baki to she will tell you the the challenges.
I don't. So actually, I'm not working on anything that has been built from scratch, where we have the liberty to understand what all tools we want to work and how we want to build it, so that if a backend developer wants to build a template or anything using AI, they can do that. The product that I'm working on right now has been built, I think, 15, 16 years ago, and then there has been, of course, like so many iterations to that, so many new features have been added. Now at this point of time, I can guarantee a backend developer can't build anything new front end on top of it, or at least debug the existing front end that is going on and add anything on top of that. For that, you need front end knowledge to know what has happened and how to build anything on top of it without breaking the existing system. uh, do I worry about the security of my job? Not really. Like, I'm not the one who really worries about these things. I don't want to think about it. But having said that, I feel like there's more to it. So the company that I'm working with is an Netherlands-based firm, and now accessibility laws around laws around accessibility in Europe is getting strict day by day. So now I'm learning about those things as well. So anything that I build, I have to make sure that it's accessible according to the European laws. And if in future, if you're working with, let's say, a German client, then I have to learn about that as well. And I'm not saying that these can't be done using AI, but you still need to know how to use AI to get those things done. A simple prompt is not enough to work on a system that has been built a decade ago, is what I'm saying. If we'll be building something from scratch, yeah, like we can configure and use AI, but it's been, I think, close to 9-10 years that I'm working. I have actually honestly not seen a backend developer building a front end template where I don't have to work on it to fix something, where they are like, okay, now we are stuck, we don't know what to go from
ये
there.
backend developers के लिए ऐसा थप्पड़ मारा.
Yeah, but I actually started as a full stack, so I actually can work on the backend. And because backend is mostly logical, so it's, I would say, still quite straightforward as compared to front end, especially when it comes to styling and making things accessible. There are so many ways to do it. You should know what's the right way to do and why you're doing it to be able to sell it. Yeah.
Nice.
I don't see a differentiation between front end or back end being accelerated using using a GitHub Copilot ले लो, Claude ले लो, Codex ले लो, any of these. Like, it's just in your head probably right now कि backend में logic बहुत जाता है, but similarly front end में there are too many viewports on which it has to be supported. There's accessibility to it. There's a design system which needs to be adhered to. There are brand tokens, blah blah. बहुत सारा कुछ होता है, right? So, and all of this can be accelerated definitely with AI. Similarly, backend maybe same stuff can happen. I could never, like, I mean, today I'm building applications जिसमें backend और frontend दोनों are being vibe coded together, stitched together, right? And it takes the same amount of effort for me to go ahead and read the plan which AI has created, review it, correct it, both for frontend as well as backend. So I think first thing first, there's not going to be much of difference or any difference honestly in terms of acceleration that AI can bring towards backend and frontend. The most important point is utilize this acceleration meaningfully. Make sure that you're asking your vibe coding tool to generate a plan for you. You review it. You be the one who's driving this car. Basically, it's like a Ferrari, but in order to be able to drive it to its speed, you need to be a skilled driver, right? So the focus should be becoming the skilled driver rather than thinking about कि हाँ मतलब कितने पेस पे ले जा सकता है या फिर what kind of output it can produce.
Yeah, I think work workspace also depends on your employer, right? I mean, you can't use AI for everything. For example, let's say you got a design and you want to build this page, but then you have to review it if the design itself is accessible or not, and things like that. And if your employer is not okay with you using any AI, and you just submit that design to AI and ask it, because designs are also like sort of private. What if they don't want the designs to go out? Then what would you do? Like completely relying on AI when you're working with an organization, I don't think it's a good thing, because there are guardrails and restrictions there as well. So you can't say just because there is no AI, you don't know what to do next. So I think that would also hamper your work if you don't, like, decision making is still at the end in your hands.
It would be a good thing to assume tomorrow the subscription cost for these
Yeah.
AI tools goes super high. Organizations are not able to afford it, which is which may happen. Like exactly. So it's still important to know those grounding skills, those software development skills, know what AI is doing, learn from how AI is producing this output. Like read through the code which it has produced. It may teach you one or two different patterns. Ask it, okay, why this approach and why not that approach. Like ask it to evaluate between two different options, and so use AI as I'm saying this again and again. Use it as a co-pilot. Ask it questions like you would ask a senior mentor while you're working in a while if you're working like AI के पहले वाला era में, if you're working, you would probably produce some code and then you ask for a code review with someone, right? Or even before developing a feature, you would go into a brainstorming session with few colleagues or maybe a TATL on the project, right? Bouncing off ideas कि इसको ऐसे नहीं कर सकते, ऐसे कर सकते हैं. There's a pro in this. There's a loss in going this approach. Use AI to learn one or two things while it's producing the output as well.
With my experience, like, just want to share. I think 2-3 years back, like, was a team, like, say around 6 to 8 people, but now with AI and all, I have first seen that okay, it is getting impacted. So I think and we can see that, like, the developer, like the lower coding, the people who are like developer or maybe junior developer, those things, like, now a person who is having good knowledge, architect or technically, they can do a coding with a great space. So that is not needed, and I have seen that I have seen in the projects that client has reduced the team. In specifically in our case, like, funny to say, our chief marketing officer has set up a local, and he's developing code, and it's getting for review. It's not getting directly deployed, but it is getting for review. I have seen that okay, it's done pretty well. It still need a review. We can still figure out like 5-6 review comments. Again, it will be corrected using Claude, and then it's done. So what I'm personally saying, this doing development, doing front end, back end, whatever, it's not though it is not getting replaced, but the time window is shrinked. It was taking 8 hours, it could be done now in 10-15 minutes. So it's basically now the game of having business knowledge. So that's what I feel. What is the main domain knowledge you have? If I'm working for, like, right now I'm working for energy domain client, so what client is expecting, gauging the mindset of client, because once we get that development and front end, back end testing, so that can be done easily with a review, obviously with some person, but with the Claude is developing. But understanding that mindset is very important. And what I have seen, the innovation has grown a lot. So there was few things like building a mobile app, building like a headless structure, which was there in our pipeline since like 2-3 years back. But now with Claude and all, we developed this in hackathon in 3-4 days. The app is live, it's getting launched. So the innovation is getting increased. People are accelerating. Yeah, it's very fast. It's not 10x 20x speed. And that too, like, for like greenfield project, like the new one which you mentioned, right? The uh, from the start, from scratch we are developing, it's very fast. Even for the brownfield project, like, which are already there from decades, still it's we are doing like reasonably high, and like anyone can do it with human review in place. But with the right domain, having a right domain knowledge, and not only the coding but overall system, like how it flows, right? Front end, back end, deployment, understanding the client. So like 3-4 people work now a single person can do with the productivity gains, right? The using Claude skills, artifacts, connectors, like all those things, it has increased. So I feel now it's important to have the domain knowledge because the money is coming from domain, right? That's how client is earning money, so it's important to learn that skill. So that's what I have observed.
When it comes to AI engineering or ML engineering, you need one is mathematics, second is a CS, and third is domain knowledge. So yes, like these three should be there to become a engineer of now age.
So he's like flip side videos. I'll just talk about the flip side quickly. So, when talking about producing code, acceleration and development, QA भी मान लो accelerate हो जाता है by writing automation tests. Think about the gatekeepers. Like think about the job which gatekeepers are responsible. For example, a TA who is responsible for reviewing the architecture of the project. Think about the marketing lead who's responsible for reviewing the blog posts which are supposed to go live. Now with AI, blog post produce तो हो जाता है फटाफट, which means that a huge volume of work that is coming your way. Like me and Amit were discussing this, things which were used to be like a Slack message, maybe 2-3 paragraph ka about an implementation detail. Now there is like they're like huge set of huge big files which you have to review, right? Which is kind of becoming difficult for the gatekeepers primarily, right? अभी ये काम भी AI के से review करवा सकते हैं, but then there's no point of a human gatekeeper there. So this is the flip side of it, which can still be accelerator up to some extent, but like too much of like there's a lot of volume of stuff which AI is producing, which needs to be also gatekeeped, humanly gatekeeped for different. Like this is a very different use case compared to development and primarily engineering. जिसके लिए I think automation, there are automation ways which can solve this, but then for like these type of use cases, there's still, I would say AI is able to accelerate, but then the gatekeeping is gonna slow it down. Gatekeeping is also become daunting for someone who has to sit and go through this manually.
So this has actually become real problem for open source committers because they are getting lot of pulls, pulls, right?
Pull requests.
Pull requests. They are getting a lot of pull requests, and now they have to review it before they can merge it, right? And despite all the automation, specifically in Linux core, they were actually talking about that now we have more work because of AI.
Same thing in the Drupal community was being discussed a while back. But yes, I don't have a solution to this.
There's no
It's
solution
just
to
a
this.
flip side to the same
Because
problem, same
The
situation.
intervention has to be manual. It can't go automated.
अकाउंटेबिलिटी राइट? अभी पहले ऐसा होता था कि लोग ऐसे बोलते हैं, अभी ऐसे भी हमारे प्रोजेक्ट में देखा है कि क्लॉड ने कोड किया, आई डोंट नो, तो रिव्यू करें तो व्हाई इट इज डन. So the main thing is accountability now, because whatever we are doing, it need to be accountable. It should not say that okay, it's done by cloud, so I don't know what is there.
Correct.
So that's what you also mentioned. The
Simple है,
gatekeeper,
I think
that is what it is more accountable now.
उससे बड़ा accountability is RFP pre-sales. If the estimates are vibe coded or vibe generated, right, they cannot be sent out like this because there is like capital at risk here. मतलब वाइब कोड करके, वाइब कोड नहीं, वाइब जनरेट करके probably a project which would ideally take somewhere like 400 hours was estimated by Claude, over engineered to somewhere close to 800-900 hours, and you sent it out. You have very low chance of winning it against someone who has done it like optimally. Similarly, undervalued projects, वो human gatekeeping करना ही पड़ेगा. So this is a real challenge which even I am facing today, because the number of RFPs that we were trying to cater to has increased now. Because of course we can cater to more of these responses now, but they all have to be gatekept by humans.
Means the more we generate, more someone has to read.
And other side about like jobs and all, like I think you are with you are like with that good positions. But how do you see? Is it like because like Claude can do a work of like 3-4 people with single person? Are you seeing like uh, those kind of things also from the client? Like there are no less openings, or like they are accelerating with hiring more people, or they just accelerating with a lot of other requirement, different projects. How you are seeing those things?
Okay. In my case, it's slightly different because we don't do projects as resource-based projects. Ours is basically outcome-based. So we deliver the website build and not the number of people involved to build the website. So our impact from that angle is nothing, right? Our impact is on different side. Right now, I'm like not seeing that many demands coming in. So the impact right now is on the demand side because people are thinking they will build it. It's a website, right? So that's the problem. Like website has always as a solution has always been a something that people underestimate the effort required, right? And because there are kids who can vibe code the websites for no cost at all, right? So my belief is it's a transitionary phase where people, when they find a new tool, they think that is the solution to all their problems. I mean, I have seen this when themes were introduced. I have seen this when HTML templates were introduced. I have seen this when drag drop builders were introduced, right? All these solutions cater to DIY, and DIY looks cool, can be marketed like crazy, right? And despite that, here we are running companies building websites, Drupal ho, WordPress ho, but we are building websites, right? So it's matter of time before this phase will shift, and of course, number of people required is going to come down. Like now, a developer who was able to do 8 hours of work, in that 8 hours now you can produce at least 16, 17 hours of work, right? High quality work. So the quantity of work is going to increase. So number of people required is going to decrease. So that's going to happen. Right? That's not changing. Impact is only if
I think, but then at the same time, there's new type of work which will also evolve.
yes.
Think of it like अभी commerce normal website के through होता था. We talk. There's a conversation about agentic commerce now. So ये like experience layer for an end user has just been websites primarily from the web standpoint, but then there are more experience layers which are gonna emerge. Chatbots आएगा, and so on. There are many experience layers which are going to emerge. So I think there's going to be a lot of value in being able to deliver more for a customer with the same amount of bandwidth that you have technically, like acceleration, but making this acceleration count for a customer in terms of value that you're adding.
But you're also seeing the
There is definitely a dip. Yes. Dip hai plus the expectation. Like everyone is getting educated about what capabilities AI tools bring to the table. Like I've been talking to VPs, director of engineering. They're all vibe coding stuff, and they are like literally able to produce prototypes in 30-40 minutes. So they're like, prototype agar develop ho sakta hai 30-40 minutes, then how long to build it? And honestly, if you ask me today, I don't have an answer because this has not been benchmarked. Like no one has benchmarked this. The gut feeling or the vibe feeling, it would probably go ahead and say कि 30-40% में कम में हो जाएगा, 30% fast हो जाएगा. But is that a number that we can stick to? The answer to that is we don't know.
I think all type of even the designer, right?
So ये saturation or ये benchmarking in the industry has to happen a little bit before a situation comes wherein we say that this is the new normal of working. This is the new normal benchmark for estimation.
It will not be on hourly basis, but what value you are adding to the product, right? That's what I think you're saying. Because hours we can't estimate now, right? But how can estimate? Cloud can do it in 10 minutes. How we can estimate on that?
In today's date, if you ask me, no. But tomorrow, when there is a saturation or there is a baseline or a benchmark. I don't know what shape and form it would be, but there should ideally be a situation wherein the companies are able to go ahead and say that with Claude Code, with an agentic development approach, I will be able to do these type of tasks in this much amount, in this range of time. ठीक है.
So now there are a set of people who don't know much into that because they don't have access to tools. People who are accelerated and they can do a lot of things. So that gap is there.
That is a different gap which you're talking about. My point is very simple कि आज के डेट में किसी को पता ही नहीं कि हम कितना टाइम सेव कर पाए. Like if you ask me Drupal में very simple example, Drupal में views बनाने में कितना time लगता था पहले? Probably I would go ahead and estimate it for 6 to 8 hours to build a simple views listing page, right? अभी अगर मैं Claude के through कर रहा हूँ, it would probably take me an hour or less, right? But is this data getting benchmarked somewhere? Is this data getting stored somewhere for you to be able to benchmark this? The answer to that is probably a no. Some organizations are probably doing it.
That will come with experience. When the projects are getting delivered, people will
Exactly.
get to know how much time we did it.
Exactly. It's the same thing. The internal level pay, if I ask someone to estimate, they would probably not be able to estimate it right. But over years of experience, they're able to estimate it better, right? So I think a benchmarking or evaluation of what kind of acceleration AI is bringing to what type of tasks is not yet there in the market today, which needs to happen.